As Josh and I start to prepare for our 10-day road trip across the country that we're leaving for in 4 days, we started to realize just how much we get the question, how do you travel so much? We thought it would be a great idea if we put together our top 10 tips and tricks on how we are able to afford to travel as much as we do, and hopefully help people who are wanting to start this whole travel lifestyle and fit it into whatever type of life you are currently living. We really, really hope that these 10 tips will help you see the world and experience new things. First tip is pretty obvious, but once you grasp this concept fully, the rest of these tips are going to come so much easier and make so much more sense. So our first tip is to make it a priority and forego other expenses. Again, that seems really self-explanatory, but when you start to implement this into your lifestyle, everyday living, I'm talking what you choose to buy at the store, what you choose to get at the grocery store, what you choose to purchase off of Amazon, it just starts to click, and you just start to realize that you have the money and the affordability to go travel. So what do we mean by foregoing other expenses? Well, some examples that we choose to forego most of the time is buying clothes on a regular basis, skincare products that are really not necessary, makeup that's excessive. For example, this is the extent of my skincare products, and this is the extent of the makeup that I use on a regular basis. Home decorations that are gonna go out of style in another year, monthly subscriptions that you either aren't using very frequently or you really don't need, extra drinks in your house that really are just staying in your outdoor fridge for months on end, random good deals that you feel like you should buy in the moment, but those random good deals end up adding up a lot more than you might think, and so much more just like those things. So what we choose to do is try our hardest not to get those items, and instead making sure that we are putting travel as pretty much one of our #1 budget items, so that way all of the money that we end up getting, we can put a really big chunk of it right towards our travel budget. Once you start to realize that experiences might matter more to you than the tangible items that are in your home, this whole tip list just becomes so much easier for you. Another way to make it a priority is simply by just planning out either small weekend trips, a couple big week trips, instead of planning out the next thing that you're going to be buying. Last year in 2021, Josh and I just sat down and we were like, okay, what are the trips that we really want to make sure that we're doing this year? And so we wrote those out. We made sure to plan it out to make sure that we had the budget for it. And so once you start to do that, you look forward to the next trip to come instead of looking forward to something big that you might be buying. With anything, making it a priority is truly the first step.
All right, tip number 2 is once you have a priority to travel and a budget to travel, you got to figure out how to stretch that budget to its full potential. And one of the best ways we found is travel credit card, or any credit card really. A lot of them have sign-up bonuses and allow you to save up points that you can use, that you can redeem on things like travel or nicer hotel upgrades, flights. You could either have a airlines card, like an American Airlines card, that goes directly towards miles, or you could just do a generic card, like a Chase Preferred card or Chase Sapphire card, to be able to build up points from your everyday purchases. If you put things like bills and groceries, those points will add up, and eventually you'll be able to get free flights, free hotel rooms, free Airbnb stays. With certain cards, some of them have annual fees, but oftentimes you get a lot more out of it than the fee cost you. For example, the Chase card we have has all kind of travel insurance and protections for while we're traveling. They have a nice portal that allows you to look up events that are going on and give you access to certain things like special events in cities. We have saved thousands probably at this point. We've gotten, I think, 4 nights at least free at hotels, and then I think 4 flights free for both of us. So it adds up very quickly, especially with sign-up bonuses. I do have to say, that we are not financial advisors, and you do have to be smart with credit cards. Always pay on time and never spend money that you don't have. Never think, I need these points, so let me spend money on stuff I don't need. Credit cards can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you are smart with your money and smart with a credit card, it can be your best friend and it can save you thousands of dollars. This upcoming road trip, we were able to get an amazing hotel room in St. Louis for free because of our points. We could upgrade and that was free for us. And so now we can live in luxury even though we normally couldn't afford that. Let's go pack.
Speaking of credit cards, the next thing on our list is to ask for travel-related gift cards whenever possible. We're talking birthdays, Christmas, special events, special occasions, weddings, whatever it is that you are experiencing in your life right now and you have the opportunity to ask for gifts, ask for travel-related gifts. That could be gift cards to a travel-related store. That can be a gift card to Airbnb. We actually got 2 Airbnb gift cards last year for Christmas, and we were able to pay for the entirety of our Airbnb while we were out in Spokane with that gift card. So Airbnb gift cards are great to ask for. And to even take it a step further, ask for travel-related gifts. For example, this camp stove was a Christmas gift last year. We have yet to use it, but we are packing it for our road trip out west because we need to make food when we're there. And I will not be forgetting our butane this time. But seriously, asking for travel-related gifts and gift cards is a huge lifesaver, especially if you are trying to start this collection of travel-related items, such as backpacks, camera equipment, tents, blankets, sleeping bags. Those are all camping-related things. Luggage is huge for if you're more of a flyer than a camper and a driver. Camping stoves, pie irons, these are all camping related things, but you catch my drift. Anything travel related you can ask for on birthdays, Christmas, special events, etc. Here's to our camping stove being used for the first time, hopefully.
In the same way that credit cards have perks and points, a lot of hotels have their own point system and perk system. So if you sign up for, say, Marriott rewards, and every time you stay there you get a couple points towards a free night, signing up for those types of programs could be very smart. And the more you stay consistent with going to the same places, the more they reward you because they like to see you come back to their places. So if you find a hotel or an airline that you like and has good rates, it might be smart to sign up for their stuff and build up miles or points for every time you stay there.
This next tip is something that most people probably don't think about very often, but we've experienced it firsthand and it has just been a blast. And this tip especially works if you have friends who are also interested in traveling, hiking, camping, whatever it may be. So this tip is use your connections. And no, I don't mean use in the negative way as in use your friends for their property. Not what I mean at all. Instead, utilize the friendships that you have and go travel with those people. If your friends live in a cool area or a cool spot, ask them if you can go stay with them and hang out with them for the weekend, and then travel and experience the things around them with them. We have found that some of our most favorite travel memories include being with our friends. We visited our friends Jeremy and Corinne in Philadelphia. We have flown out to Colorado and visited our friends Hannah and Josiah. We've flown out to Minnesota to visit many friends in Minnesota, including Grant, Ashton, Gwendolyn, Zach, with our friends Dory and Caleb. And through all of those travel experiences, we not only got to check off another area, another state, another national park, but we've also gotten to enjoy it with people that we know and love. And I'm almost kind of on this kick of traveling with friends and family because it's so much better to have these shared memories and experiences, in my personal opinion. And while Josh and I love to travel together, it just brings a whole new level of excitement, fun, memories shared when you're doing it with the people that you love. Not only is traveling with friends and family a fun activity, but also it kind of helps with expenses. So on the finance side of things, think about it. If you're going to stay somewhere for a long weekend or a week with another couple you know, a group of friends, you guys can split that cost flat in half, or however many people there are, split it amongst that number of people in the group. So it just benefits everyone all around in so many ways, mentally, socially, physically. I feel like when you're with another group of people, you guys can challenge each other and encourage each other to keep moving forward, to keep pushing each other, whether that's on a hike or an activity or an experience that you're doing. I just find that being with other people really challenges you sometimes in like the best type of challenging way. In the same way, if you are someone who lives in a desirable area and your friends reach out to you and ask you if they can stay with you, whoa, lots of yous. Return the favor and invite people to your home as well. Show them what your hometown is about. Show them what's cool around your place. And so there's just this constant, never-ending circle of experiences, shared memories, giving and getting, and it just makes it a happy time for everyone.
One quick tip that could actually save you a decent amount of money, especially if you're under 25, is rental car insurance. They try to push you on these big packages, but oftentimes you don't need it. Your regular insurance will already cover you for basic liability and things like that, where you don't need to spend a ton of money on it. So make sure you talk to your insurance agency beforehand to make sure that your regular insurance would cover a rental car. And if you're under 25, that insurance can be expensive. Know what you need and what you don't need before you pay extra.
This car is in need of some serious cleaning before we leave. Which brings me to my next tip. Plan trips in drivable distances. Now, a drivable distance looks different for everybody, and for us, our max is around 7 to 8 hours typically, even though we're about to drive 66 hours in a car across the country. Gonna be a lot. Some of the best travel experiences we have were just 5 to 7 hours away. We've been to Tennessee, Virginia, Maryland, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. So many of these areas and states and places that we've gotten to experience so far have been from our road trips. A lot of the places we've traveled to are in a drivable distance, which saves you money on flights. And yes, even though gas prices are absolutely ridiculous right now, we did do the math on this road trip alone, and it is saving us money in the long run. Find a really cool spot near you within your definition of a drivable distance. Go there with yourself, your friends, your family, and do whatever it is that you like to do in a travel setting.
The next tip has to do with passes and license. If you want to get a fishing license, oftentimes it's better to get a year pass than a few day pass. Like if you get a single day pass and you're like, oh, I might go fishing again, then it's probably better just to get a year pass and save a couple extra dollars if you happen to go again, as opposed to doing day passes. In the same way, it's better to get a national parks pass for the whole year than it is to get 3 day passes, because a day pass is $35. So if you went twice, you'd be at $70. And if you were like, I might go again later in the year, it just makes sense to pay $80 to get the full year pass as opposed to 3 day passes. So just look at when you might want to go and how much that'll cost, and think, maybe I want to go again. And you can save some money if you're able to plan far enough into the future.
Our next tip is to make your own food when possible. So what does this look like? Essentially, try to find a place to stay with a full kitchen. Now, hotels are a bit trickier when it comes to finding a full kitchen, but when you go on Airbnb, you're able to filter full kitchen, and you'd be surprised at how many places don't have a full kitchen. When we first started traveling, we recognized this because right off the bat, the first couple Airbnbs we stayed at didn't have a full kitchen. Buying and making your own food is always going to be saving you money in the long run, especially if you're going to be traveling for an extended amount of time. However, there is a balance with that. If you're gonna be out traveling somewhere that's known for a specific type of food, don't completely limit yourself to only making your own food. Still go out and enjoy food that's local to the area. If you're in Kentucky, get Kentucky barbecue. If you're in Philadelphia, get a Philly cheesesteak. We've done this with plenty of locations. We've tried our hardest to balance the two, and oftentimes you'll find that having a balance instead of doing just one or the other will give you the most enjoyment out of your trip. On this trip coming up, we already have our menu planned, and we already kind of have when we're going to be eating out planned as well, making sure that we enjoy some local coffee shops, making sure that we enjoy some local specialties, and always finding the balance in eating out and eating in.
The last tip is to utilize budgeting apps such as Mint, or even your own savings account, whatever savings account or checking account you use. Utilize their budgeting programs or their saving programs. Mint is an app that I use to be able to record where my money is going and budget things to the appropriate places, as well as some of the savings accounts that we use have things called buckets. Each deposit you put in there, a little bit can go towards any category that you like or want to put it towards, such as travel or spending on roof racks or things like that. You can save for it and set a specific goal or budget, and then save towards that. Setting a good budget for yourself allows you to spend money where you want to spend money while paying for the things that you need to pay for. Plan ahead and do your research. That's pretty much all you gotta do. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. See you out west. So think about it before you go and spend money on day passes and whatnot and whatever. Yeah. The last tip, let me see what the last tip is. Yeah, the last tip, wait a second. Do it, go out and do it.